Welcome to another exciting edition to Grove City Hockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, kind of. Well, it's my sixth year of college. Incredible.
Hey guys, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cut Shield, for bringing you this episode. Make sure you check them out on the link below and use the promo code for 25% off your order. Used by all 32 NHL teams and players, Cut Shield is the premier protective player clothing designed by players for players. Their innovative cut-resistant clothing has prevented serious injury to numerous players, including over 30 NHL players. Cut Shield gives you the peace of mind to go out and play without worrying about injury. Use our promo code Grove City Hockey, all lowercase and no space, for an additional 25% off your order today. Welcome to GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, and with me is a very special guest. I've got the one and only JP Beilsten. How's it going, JP?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me, Ben.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for taking the time to jump on the GCH podcast with us. I wanted to talk to you about your international career, because you played for, ever since I can remember. I've been really following the international scene since 2000, 2001 when I graduated. I've always wanted to go, man, I want to play for Team USA. I was never good enough. It was never going to happen in the cards for me. But now that I start seeing the veterans, the legends, and the masters, I go, oh, maybe. But then my body tells me, no, you can't. But you got a chance to really experience many international tournaments representing Team USA. Can you tell us a little bit about what that was like?
Yeah, it was great. I was lucky enough to make the team with one of my best friends, Kenny DeLeo, our first year in 01 and go to Spain. And we got to fill in with the likes of all the great veterans like Ronnie Tracy, CJ Yoder, Jamie Yoder, Jay Mazer, all the guys, the Minnesota clan with Dave Shute there. We had Danny Costanza. I mean, those guys we were already looking up to them. And, fast forward some years and now you're friends with all those guys and you get to play with them and against them and watch and chase each other around in divisions like 35 and 40 plus. But it was really neat. A lot of us were ice guys. Some of us were not, but it was a great release in the summer to go there and play a high level of competitive hockey amongst guys in different countries and see the world with a good group of people and a great group of friends. And I mean, I have great friendships to this day with guys, I didn't know going into that roller hockey world at Team USA in 01. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I think I read somewhere from 2001 to 2011, you had like 8 gold medals or something like that, or 7 gold medals, 3 bronze medals or something along those lines.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I think if we had 7 gold medals, CJ had like 6 game winners. Yeah, I mean, we had some really good teams in that stretch. We went from the young guys and then started cycling through, and all of a sudden you find yourself becoming an older guy on the team and seeing all these good young players come in. There was a bit of a transition there with a lot of us. There was AAU USA tournaments, IIHF USA tournaments, and got to see a unique difference in the game in itself with a couple rule changes and other things. But I mean, we had a lot of really good teams. I mean, Pat Maroon, one of my last gold medals I won was with 3 St. Louis friends of mine, Kyle Kramer, Pat Maroon, Shawnee Garsh. We all got to go there together and win a medal. That was a lot of fun. So
yeah, that's got to be a trip in and of itself. And then you got a chance to play some high level ice too. You were with the Missouri River Otters, right, in the UHL?
Yes.
Yeah, you played there. I think you played there 3, maybe 4 years.
Yeah, it's weird go. I played a span over 3 to 4 seasons. In between there was an NHL strike one of those years that there was a full season I sat out, and Killer Kaminsky came to town and got in touch with me and said, "We got a camp coming to town. I know you played." And I said, "Yeah, hell yeah, I'll come out and do a camp again. Why not?" I was working with the Home Depot through the Olympic Committee at the time, and just doing roller hockey, Team USA, and it was a program through the Olympic Committee that we had. It was awesome, and I said, "Yeah, I got time to do this." I worked it out with work and got to show up. It led to another season, led to a couple surgeries, and not being super skilled, and it got me into coaching younger. And I don't look back and regret that at all. I've had a blast coaching since then, but. We got to play junior hockey in town with a lot of friends, got to play some pro and stay in St. Louis at the same time in front of my family. And I'm blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah. So now let's backtrack just a little bit. So how did you get your start into hockey? Your dad is a roller hockey legend, legendary coach. He's one of the first, if I'm not mistaken, one of the first Missouri roller hockey individuals to be inducted into the Missouri Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was the first. Well deserved, I should add.
Right.
That's exactly how we got started. And to be honest with you, I can go down the list of so many of my friends when roller hockey was starting, and he is the reason why most of us started. All of our dads played together, which led to us playing roller hockey. I mean, we all played ice hockey starting 5-6 years old, but roller hockey wasn't around for the youth. My dad played on quads with ice hockey pants, socks, and played roller hockey with the sugar pucks, the screw in the middle of it taped around, and he owned a roller skating rink, and that was kind of our pond. Is we'd go out there, no gloves, like after every public session, chop each other's arms off, go up and down the rink. It was a tiny rink. It was probably 135 feet by 55 feet, and block walls, beams sticking out, and we just go out there and play roller hockey all night, all day. So that's how we all got started in hockey in general. And then Narch came to St. Louis. I think the first Narch was in St. Louis. We played in that as kids. I think I played, this might age me, but I think I played in the first Narch, the first tours, the first airs, all the way through the process of that. And my dad was such a big part of all of those. He started the Tour Bandits, which we played for as kids. All of us friends grew up. We're still a lot of us. I think 4 of us were on that USA team that went to Italy a year ago. So
that's awesome. And then now you're doing your thing with Car Shield Hockey. How did Car Shield get in? Because it's really an automotive type business, right? How did they decided to jump into the roller hockey arena?
So Nick Hamilton, one of their owners, they got a couple owners which are huge supporters of us right now, but the main owner, we grew up known each other since 5th grade at that same roller rink I just told you about, playing roller hockey, knowing each other. And it's like anything else, you stay in touch, you lose touch, and we see each other at I think I seen him. I was running, and I was the director of a AAA ice hockey club at the time. We had a name. We were looking for something fresh, and we were seeing each other, and I seen his Car Shield team come out in Kalamazoo playing men's. They looked great. They had hats, awesome. And we just kind of came together and said, hey, let's build something special here. In the Michigan area, as you know, there's the Honey Bakes, the Little Caesars, the Victory Hondas. We didn't really have a look like that in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. So, we had 2 ice hockey teams, and we renamed them Car Shield. We got a little lucky, had some really good players, including Kyle McClellan as our starting goalie that was just with the University of Wisconsin that year, and went all the way to nationals, beating Shattuck and getting a bronze medal the first year we were Car Shield. So we added a 3rd team, added more teams. Now coming into this year, we have 9 AAA hockey teams. We support a sled hockey team. There's a Car Shield hockey sled hockey team.
That's awesome.
We have 20-something roller hockey teams. They're part of supporting a soccer club, Car Shield football club with 60-something teams in it, I think. So they've been phenomenal for sports in general in St. Louis, and especially our hockey programs.
Yeah, and then you got two pro teams, right? You got the Car Shield Blast, and then there's the other. I think it's just called Car Shield, right? I think that's the one that Haji's kind of running.
Yeah,
Kind
so
of really a part of.
that's the one that Haji and those guys, Adam Ernie, Garrett Ross and that group of guys, Matt Berry, a lot of great team. George is the coach, George Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of kept together a Car Shield Pro team when I was playing more still, and it was some of us from St. Louis. We go there. We all played for the Snipers and other tournaments together, and so we go to tours and as Car Shield. And we had some really good years, and we started filling in with the young guys, the guys that were playing for all these roller guys that played ice for us as well. I don't want to call them ice guys that play roller. I'd say roller guys that play ice for us. But again, it gave us old guys a way to start getting away from it. So they became the Blast as our second pro team, and they played around. I think this coming up year, they're going to play some AAA together. They're going to play D1. I mean, last year they played as pros and they won the junior division. It's a bunch of mainly O2s, but we got some guys spread out from 2000s down to 04s and even 05s on that team. So
yeah, and they're a fun bunch to watch. I've been watching a little bit about watching them, as well as Haji and the boys as well. Just because I played against Haji, back in 2009. When he was with the Detroit Revolution. So
Haji's a great dude, man. Like he played on our 30s last year. He played pro. What a great summer out of him. Played on our 30s at tours, helped us, a big part of helping us win, him and Schwartzy. Yeah. Actually, that group of guys you're referring to, my stepson's on that team as an O2. And so when we got to Florida, they're like, hey, we like watching those guys. I said, congrats, you're the coaches. So I got to sit back and watch the games, and Haji and Schwartz led those guys and helped through junior and D1, did a great job with them. So, man, he's an awesome guy to have around just in general.
Yeah. He I had a chance to talk to him a little bit earlier because I had him on the pod probably a couple months ago, and he had just gotten back from he just finished up. I think it's when they lost to Tour Roadrunners at Tours. And he came on like right after that, and it was a great interview. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, you should check it out. It's
because we were a little short staffed that year. We were picking up guys like myself to fill in one last go for that team. That's a lot to handle. But then they got rid of the dead weight, and they went on and obviously had a great run with Uncle Stavi coming in the pipes when Redmond goes down to seal the deal at the end of the day and play great in the process at State Wars.
Yeah, because Stavi was his teammate at because he was in Spain, right?
Yeah, they were overseas playing together.
Yep. So and then I didn't see him going back this season because he's still playing Maiha over here.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard, is he was going to stay here and do some of that this year. And I told him, get ready, he's still got to play for our old guy team. Just because he stepped in was phenomenal in his pro run. We still need a guy.
Yeah, and then because you guys were able to get Troy Redmond, and then Redmond goes down, and then you had Steve Brandy come in as your backup and take home the victory on that one. That was pretty cool too.
That was really neat to see. Stavi's a great team guy. Everyone loves him. To see him come in and win a tournament like that, the way he did in a big way, was awesome.
Yeah. Cool. So now, and then you're also coaching a little college hockey too with the Lyndenwood. What is it? The Lions? Is that right?
Yeah, Lyndenwood Lions. Back to Pops. My dad's been running. I helped coach all the way back when I played pro ice hockey in town. Mm-hmm. I would help with the B. They've changed the division names from B to C to D3 a few times over the decades, but. Even back then, I would help as an assistant coach whenever I could. Obviously, I love being a part of roller hockey. It's been a part of my family since I can remember. And as he took over, it was 22 years ago. I said I'd start helping, and I'd help coach that team on and off. I took 1 year and helped the ice team in between, but been with them since, and I don't do much. I mean, all their all their success and everything comes from all the guys they have. John Hilke, my pops, Tommy Bruce, all of those guys do such a great job. They're coaching those kids, and with us running the ice hockey program in the winter and that season kind of overlapping, I'm able to make nationals most years because it's done, and hopefully some local games in between and some practices. But it's pretty easy when Pops is there keeping that ship well oiled. So
yeah. Now, are you going to make it to nationals in April? In a couple weeks, right?
yeah, not sure. We got a couple big projects going on here in St. Louis at the time.
Yeah.
Not sure if we're going to make it up to catch that one or not this year.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't you tell me, so of all of the rinks that you played at throughout the world, what are some of your favorite rinks to play at? What are some of your favorite tournament moments that you can recall, whether it be playing or coaching or even watching your own kids play?
Oh, man, at this age, there's a lot of moments. I've always said, and I think to this day, all the cool rinks and the modern rinks and these huge places you play in some of the European countries that are ice arenas transitioned. And in 03, we played world championships against Czech Republic. It was an old barn. I think between the hotel and the rink, there was a cemetery we walked through for the shortest distance. It was just an old town. Old barn, and we ended up playing the Czech Republic in the final game of the tournament there in Czech, and the place was jam-packed and rocking, and that's one of those CJ Yoder years where I think in quarterfinals we go to single overtime against Italy. I think it was CJ scores. And, I think he got every game winner all the way through, and then the semis was double overtime against France, and then we get to Czech, and it was triple overtime to win the game that year, and it was so much fun to have all the people yelling and screaming, beating things, and to go that long in a roller hockey game in a town like that where they're supported like crazy was probably the most fun I've had in any hockey environment playing myself, anyways. That was great. If you remember, there was a tours event years back, and it was like $40K on the line for pro. And I was a lot younger, and we were playing the Dominators rink rat at the time. And if you were fast enough to get around Jerry St. Cyr, you had to go a far distance around him because something was going to grab you or take you down in the process. And we lost. I was playing with Palma. And I think we had some extra incentives on the line for that $40K game at the time as well, and we lost that game 2-1 against Rink Rat. But just the place in Troy was rocking, and it was like a jungle on the ice, man. Like playing some of those old school guys that are just heavy on their sticks and grind it out. It was like an ice hockey game on wheels in a way. You felt like there was 5 guys you were playing against. People were yelling during the whole game. It was so much fun to play in that game.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I don't think most people realize, that when it's 4-on-4 and you're playing at that high level, everybody has the high hockey IQ that it's almost like you're playing, with, one guy that has, 5 different brains, because they can adapt their style to whoever they're playing against, and they have to be able to hit the lanes, to create those openings, to get those breakouts, to get those stretch passes going, to work everything they need. So you have to really have a mindset to try to defensively combat all of those different options, and some people have it, some people don't.
No, I think that's one of the best things it brings to the table for our ice hockey players when they play roller hockey is, defensemen have to be part of the offense. Offensemen have to be part of the defense, and you preach that every day in ice hockey, but the consequences are much larger when you don't do it in roller hockey. That full ice odd man rush in roller hockey is a goal 9 out of 10 times. The possession play that it brought to the table, and you see even the NHL now playing possession hockey and all this. I remember growing up, a lot of old school ice guys would dog us playing inline. It gives you bad habits. It gives you this. And if you really think back now, think about how we used to play the game just by throwing pucks away, chasing them around the ice. It was a lot of fun. I was a forechecker when I played ice, so it was a little bit of fun for me. But at the end of the day, that's what ice hockey is now, even all the way up to the ranks of the NHL. Don't give up the puck for no reason. Why give them the puck if you keep it until you get a scoring chance, put it in good places? I mean, there's not a dump and chase. It's just an area pass anymore. So,
well, no, I will say that's one of the frustrating things for me watching high school hockey is that there's still a lot of dump and chase in my area right now. And I keep just banging my, head on the glass going, what are we doing? We have an opportunity here. It's 4-on-4. This is perfect. If you guys would play a little inline hockey here around here, you guys would pick up that, hey, puck possession is going to be key here. And instead you want to dump it into the corner and try to outrace your guy. And it's like, just hang on to it, dangle him a little bit or hit the open guy because somebody's always open.
oh yeah. Funny story. We were coaching, me and my buddy Kenny, again, we've coached together since 2001. We've coached together for 16 years as well. We were coaching a high school team here in town, really good players, young freshmen, sophomore, all AAA level players playing, doubling up, playing high school because we can do that in St. Louis. So frustrating on power plays. They'd be the prettiest damn team on the ice. 150 passes. I don't think we get a shot. We did this for like 2 games in a row. Looked the best with 0 results, no shots. So Kenny's laughing. He's like, you're nuts. I call a player in and I said, hey, next power play. They were all roller hockey players. All of them were roller hockey players too. I said, next power play, just trip the guy. On the center, your center. He goes, I'm in. I said, yeah, just trip the guy. Just take a 2-minute penalty right away. Nothing bad. Don't hit him. Just trip him. And we scored 3 goals 4-on-4. I said, we're putting our roller guys out there 4-on-4. I don't even want a power play. I said, they're overthinking it with the 5th guy. And all of them it didn't matter who it was because they were all so good at roller hockey and just playing that game. At the time, the ice kids didn't know what to do with them.
Right. Yeah. And that's a great example of, hey, when you overthink with that extra guy, you can make those silly mistakes that, hey, if you just simplify your game, even just a little bit, you can change the outcome of what you guys are trying to accomplish in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. Very small goals all the way up the ice, right?
Yep.
I'm having a good time coaching our 11-year-old this year and talking about a lot of those small goals and feats that we're trying to accomplish all season long with those kids. It's a lot of fun, that's for sure.
So who are some of your favorite guys to play with, as a teammate? Who are some of the guys that you would rather play against? Or who are some of the guys that you were glad you had to play, that you played against them, back, in a semifinal and not in the finals?
Ooh, you might have to walk me through that in a row. So some of my favorite guys to play with, I mean, God, the Yoder brothers were awesome. I mean, you have CJ that makes everybody better around him, and he just makes everybody look good, no matter what his position is at the time, what his job is. He was so smart of a roller hockey player. He made the game easy. His brother Jamie was a lot of fun to play with on defense and pinball some guys around and play physical hockey with for sure. He's probably that same answer, him or Chad Siebel, and guys that I'd much rather play against in semifinals than finals over the years, because we all know the finals, you get away with a little more, and those guys are definitely heavy hockey players. And if you do get around them, which isn't easy, you're going to feel it. And so, but, best players still, there's a ton of them, but most fun anymore, like playing with guys like Kenny DeLeo, Tommy Bruce, Ryan Marchant, guys that over different years, I can go back decades and find stories of us playing men's league / tournaments / overseas, 10 minutes down the road just for a Wednesday night skate. Those guys that can tell all the different stories, be friends, on and off the ice. Like those are the guys we enjoy playing with now. And we got a ton of those guys in our Car Shield hockey family too. We all bring our kids, our wives, and to these tournaments and have a great time together. Those are the guys we're looking to play with now. And Marty's always great. And when Marty's around, he's got to be on my line because I'm not fast enough to catch anybody. And he always is.
That's funny because he said, if I'm not mistaken, he said that you were one of the best hockey players he's ever played with. So
Hey, well, I appreciate that, Marty. And again, that's back to a guy making me a lot better than I need to be.
yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock. With me was JP Beilsten. I cannot thank you enough, JP.
Hey, thanks, man. Had a good time tonight, and get the kiddos down, all right?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to go drop some elbows on them. So,
all right, man. Well, hopefully we see each other around some of these summers somewhere. Our paths will cross, I hope, at the inline events. I'll be at them all, so.
For sure, and I'll definitely try to make it out that way, so that way we can at least get a skate in together.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Brother.
We'll see.
Take care. Cheers.
Bye.